Okay, I have a brief moment where nobody is screaming in our house. Hi, I'm Ryan. I'm the worship pastor at Mountain View Church. If you're just clicking on this video, it's related to a whole slew of videos. We are going through the gospel according to Luke, walking through the life of Jesus from birth to resurrection as we head towards Easter, and doing this reading plan as a church together. So if you're clicking on this video, these are basically some staff overseers and Todd, our lead pastor, reflecting on each day's passage in the life of Jesus. And we would love for you to do the same, to read along. There's a link below for the PDF of where we're at each day in the week, in the month. And those will give you kind of a marker so that we can all be reading together. And then hopefully when you see these videos pop up, you can comment things below that are coming up for you, things that you're reflecting on, things that stand out to you or pop out to you. So today we are in Luke 20:27 through 40. We're looking at the resurrection and marriage. And so just a basic overview and then the things that kind of stand out to me and how they might encourage all of us today. There's some people in Jesus' day who don't believe that at the end of all things there will be a resurrection. And so what they're doing is coming in and basically debating somebody who is well known and does believe and has been preaching about a resurrection. So it's a debate of worldviews. It's a debate of how things will end. Begin. And so they come to him and they ask him a hypothetical, I think, situation of a man marries a woman, they have no kids, he dies. Moses's charge to us was to, if that man had a brother, that he should marry his brother's wife and give her kids. And so in their situation or their hypothetical, they're saying if this woman's this woman's late husband had 7 brothers and they all married her and had no kids, in the resurrection that you speak of, in the resurrection, who is her husband? She married all 7 of them and had no kids. So who is her husband? And Jesus answers them in a way that only Jesus can. Only Jesus. And so Jesus' reply to them, the whole thing is just so rich. But basically, he's responding with really here's what you're talking about, here's what you're focused on, and I don't want you to be focused on that, or we shouldn't be focused on that. And then they kind of appeal to the authority of Moses. So he references Moses and brings that own authority back into why it supports his view. So it's beautiful what he's doing, but he's really lifting their head beyond the current. And so that would be my reflection. My standout is, when Jesus says the people of this age marry and are given in marriage, but those who are considered worthy of taking part in the age to come and in the resurrection from the dead will neither marry nor be given in marriage. And they can no longer die, for they are like angels. They are God's children, since they are children of the resurrection. But in the account of the burning bush, even Moses showed that the dead rise. For he calls the Lord the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. These are past forefathers of Judaism and the people of God, Israel. So he is not the God of the dead, but of the living. For to him all are alive. And they're blown away, and nobody, they're basically speechless. What stands out to me is there is so much in our current time frame that is pulling for our allegiance. And this is a wrestle with me to have the right answer, to have the right place that I'm standing in line, to fight for the right things, to push down the bad things, to walk in righteousness, but not necessarily walking with Jesus, I think is the temptation or the thing I would warn against. And I think that Jesus is warning against. He's saying your mind is set, or your ways are set in an age that's going to pass away. And your situation that you're bringing up in the age to come, this resurrection, those aren't the things we think about. Those aren't people don't die. we don't get given in marriage. God is a God who is seeing people alive, seeing what is to come. He sees deeper, he sees beyond. His vantage point is beyond our vantage point. And so the current thing that you're wrestling with, and this would be my encouragement to all of us today to just be thinking about and praying through with God, is whatever the current thing is that you're hung up on, is it, and it's just a question, is it something that is for the age to come, or is it something for this age? Because all things will pass away, but he is making all things new. So when we think about the things that we're charging, are we holding on to old things, or are we looking for what God is doing in the age to come, in the all things new, when the dead are raised? So that's my encouragement, is just that as we're coming up against something, because there's a lot to come up against in our world, as we're coming up against something, are we bringing that to Jesus and saying, Jesus, what do you see? You see deeper, you see beyond, you have a vantage point from heaven that I don't have. So give me eyes to see what you're doing, to give me a passion for your kingdom to come and your will to be done on this earth as it is in heaven, in my life as it is in heaven. And then as we realign ourselves under his kingdom, under his ways, then we approach those things again. And we bring scripture, we bring Jesus to our perspectives, our things that are good and great things to wrestle with and fight about, and to see the most of it so that we can get the best picture of it. But in the end, we need to hold those things subservient to Jesus, subservient to his ways, his kingdom, his will, and then submit them to him. I hope this doesn't poke you too much, and is more of a chance for us to discuss more. So feel free to comment below, and really be praying through this passage and praying through this idea of setting our eyes on Jesus, setting our eyes on his ways, the things to come, and not getting so fixated on getting all the things right now that we may not necessarily know. Love you guys.